I am recording.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 688th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. I'm your host, Steve. With me is Bobby.
Hello. I'm bummed that registration for Pokemon XP got pushed back. That was definitely a bummer this week that got pushed back. So hopefully we get
whole
more
segment dedicated to that.
We did. Then they're like, nah, it's not happening. So hopefully we get some more news on that soon, so we know when to buy our Pidgey tickets.
Austin also here. Hello, Glau.
Hey, thanks for having me back, even though I have no idea what I'm talking about. Appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks.
Great. Well, good thing we don't have Josh back on the show, or whoever that was.
John.
John. Yeah, I could not stand that guy.
Yeah, it was me neither. Good thing we got him off the podcast. Yeah, nothing but misinformation from that dude. We got a show for you guys today. We have some Pokemon Go news. Not like a bunch, but a couple things here and there. We have there's a TCG event happening in California. You could argue that the Pokemon Go stuff is happening in California. We have some Pokemon Sleep. We have gone so long without talking about Pal World or patent stuff or any of that, but there's been a bit of misinformation around a recent patent. So we're going to talk about that. Not that I think you should agree or disagree with Nintendo. I am just giving you the information because no one else apparently is, or half the people just don't know how to read past a headline. I don't know. We're just here to give you the information. You can make your own decision after you hear the information. Let's be clear about that. Yeah, that's our show for you guys today. And then we'll have a bonus segment, which is just anything we don't get to from what we've already said. There's a little bit of Pokemon news here and there, like some Halloween stuff on Pokémon Center and whatnot. So whatever we don't make it to, we'll move to bonus. Speaking of bonus, because we are less than 30 days away from ZA, we have a 30% off Patreon promotion right now. So if you have not ever signed up for Patreon or you were thinking about it, you have 30% off until the end of the month. So you have till September 30th. The code is MEGA30 at checkout, but you don't even have to remember that because when you go to Patreon, it will say at the very top of the webpage, there's a discount running, and it is MEGA30, and you can enter this at checkout. So that will apply to everyone who's not been a Patreon member. You can apply that to the monthly membership or the annual membership if you think the next year of this podcast is worth 30% off. That's the gamble you can take while listening to the show. And that'll give you the ad-free episodes. It'll give you the longer episodes. It'll give you all the Slack access. So good time to sign up for Patreon before ZA comes out. So there you go. With that being said, let's talk about some Pokemon Sleep. Before we get to the actual news, how is your what do they call that? Your Entei, your Suicune, your Raikou? How's that been for you? Let's start with Bobby.
It's been good, actually. I'm on expert mode or expert green grass, so that's been okay. I have been able to get and catch a good Entei and Raikou, so just trying to catch a Suicune before the week's end. But I do feel like if you're newer, having all three of them in the same event is kind of a lot, because if you're newer, I don't know if you'll be getting as much material based on what you're getting every morning, and then like maybe if you don't have a full friends list, but like I've run out of material already, just trying to catch like one of each basically. And so I just feel like it's a lot to try to catch all 3 in just a 2-week period, especially because initially we essentially had 6 weeks to catch all 3 last year, and now it's only 2 weeks to catch all 3. So I don't know, but I've been enjoying it. I do like that it's been water, fire, electric for the berries, so that's been nice on expert. But yeah, overall, it's decent. It's very much like it was last year, but just like having all 3 just seems a little bit overwhelming.
Anything to report back on your end, Austin?
Well, I have been trying to stock up on all the incense. I do wish that I was able to buy more than one of the incense at a time, right? Because for the most part, what I'm doing, I'm just buying the incense, going to bed, hoping for a shiny one. But I have been giving it my premium biscuit in the mornings to try to get it. But I think the most exciting thing was I found a darker eye that I master biscuited, whatever. So that was like exciting, which is not related to the event at all. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it's pretty good. I do agree with Bobby in the fact that I wish it was separated by the weeks. I feel like you could prepare more. You could put more time and energy into one of them as opposed to now trying to balance all 3. But yeah, it's been nice so far. I think I got a Raikou and a Suicune, and I think I've missed the Entei so far.
Got it.
Yeah, I think this also comes down to like RNG, because I did not get any of my beasts to be hungry at all week.
Same.
So that's like real obnoxious. Even though every time I do put a beast incense down, I also put a friend incense.
Same.
Dang.
Every time been doing that too, and
It's always
not
like
one has been hungry.
It's always like the Pikachu that's hungry, or the or like the Crocolore or something, like something I just don't need at all.
I did get like a critical capture or whatever it's called in this game, where it just like filled it all the way up one time. I only had like 4, I think, pips full before I got this one, so that was really nice.
Nice.
Also, I didn't know this. I upgraded my iPhone because I needed the vapor cooling, the vapor chamber. So I decided to upgrade my iPhone, and I did the like Pikachu sleeping on the plus, and then the next morning when I woke up, it was your plus is tied to another phone. You can tie it to this phone, but you will lose your sleep data. And I was like, oh great, I just lost 100 of the mains or whatever they're called.
You didn't still have your old phone, like it on your old phone too?
So once you do the transfer for sleep, when you try to open it on your own phone, it will say you've already transferred. Please play on your new device.
That's right. I did forget about that. Yeah, I was real careful about that this year because I also upgraded my phone. I was real careful about when I transferred things over and doing all that, because I think that messed me up last year when I got my new phone. It messed me up with the Go Plus Plus stuff transferring over.
Yeah, that was like, I think out of everything I transferred from one iPhone to the other, the thing I was like most worried about was like sleep. I was like, I want to make sure I don't mess this up. Yeah. Okay, before I transfer, am I like logged into like my account? Okay, what accounts are this tied to? But yeah, I didn't know when you transfer, it like completely locks you out of the old one, and it's like, nope, you transferred. Nope, don't play here anymore. And if I would have just linked my plus before I went to bed, there wouldn't have been a problem. I didn't think about it at all though.
Yep, that was because you don't have the Pikachu anymore. Like, the thing that made me notice it, because I upgraded my phone, I didn't switch over the phones until yesterday. So the thing that made me notice it was that you don't have this the Sleepy Cap Pikachu when you don't have the Go Plus Plus hooked up. And so that was my reminder of like, okay, before I go to bed tonight, I have to switch the Go Plus Plus over so it's not on the old account.
Not that it mattered. But like yesterday, I went to the Mall of America, who, by the way, followed me on Twitter or Instagram. Mall of America
I saw that.
Followed me on Instagram. I don't know.
Celebrity, Minnesota celebrity over here.
They're like, well, we had the security guards roll up on this guy like 3 times. So I just like ran to Mall of America because I needed something. and I like just had the plus running for Pokemon Go. And then this morning when I synced it, again, this doesn't matter because my Pikachu's already like level 20 or max level. It said 33,000 Pokestops spun. And I was like, that maybe in the lifetime of me having that, sure, but like definitely not yesterday.
yeah, for sure.
Did it like, it didn't give you like the berries equivalent, like it?
No, it capped out at like whatever, like 50 berries or whatever that Pikachu can like hold.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been really nice.
25,000
sickest berry bomb. Speaking of berry bombs, there's a new event, Buncha Berry Week Part 1. This will start on September 29th, so you will have a week of nothing in the game before this event starts. It will say each time a helper Pokemon with berry specialties brings you berries, it will have 1 extra. Main skill Berry Burst and Disguise will have a 1.4 effect. Limited time candy boost available. So probably use that to power up your Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. A few Pokemon of different sleep types will appear regardless. Certain Pokemon more likely to appear. This will also make the debut of Natu and Xatu. And then it will work in all areas, even Snowdrop. But Xatu and Natu will be on Greengrass, Lapis Lakeside, not to be confused with Lapras Lakeside, which is not in the game yet. And then it will be on Greengrass Expert as well. And then the limited time candy boost is 50 candies per day, easier to power up, that kind of stuff. So I do think the limited time candy boost is really good for like Pokemon like Absol or Sneasel, or in this case, Entei, Raikou, Suicune, because you're not seeing your friends and you are not seeing those Pokemon as much, so that candy's a little bit harder to get, so you get a little more mileage out of the candy. I think I will actually pull off of Greengrass Expert this week, and I will go to Lapis because I do want a Trico, and I do know Trico will be on Expert, but I want a smaller pool of Pokemon because like Trico is like the most busted Pokemon in the game right now.
Right. So you're saying you're going to go to Lapis during this event so that Trico is more likely to show up?
Because I'll get hopefully more Trico, because that's like this. It's such a smaller pool on Lapis, so like I get the chance for Trico, get the Xatu, Natu. Everything else I don't really care about. Maybe a good Torchic, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I wish Old Gold Power Plant had Xatu and Natu.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice to go there.
Because they also have Mimikyu.
Yeah.
And they have Trico. They have Trico and Mimikyu.
Yeah, maybe I'll do the same. I was thinking about coming off of Expert this week and going back on next week, but maybe I'll swap that. Because you only get 4, if you're a premium, you only get 4 Expert tickets a month, because you get 1 in the premium shop and then you get 3 in the regular shop. And so if you have a 5-week month, you can't do Expert every week, right? So you do have to choose. So I think this might be one of those months where like either this week or next week you'd have to not go Expert because you won't have a ticket.
I was gonna do Lapis Lakeside for this event, and then on Sunday night ticket myself to Expert just to get the 5% boost.
Oh, that would work. Yeah, because it'll be in October, so it'll have reset. By that time, it'll be October, so it'll reset the tickets in the shop.
Oh,
So I think I'm checking now, but I think we only have 1 ticket left. If you've been using it each week, yeah, I only have 1 Expert ticket left in the regular shop. So if you've been using them each week, then either this week or next week, if you want to do the whole week, you have to pick one or the other, since it won't be October yet. But yeah, your plan would work, Steve, because yeah, you could continue to do Expert this week, get your 5%, and then do Lapis next week during the event, and then just at the end, it'll be October. Tickets will reset, and then you can get your 5%.
I'm taking all these notes, so when I hit expert, I'm ready to go. I know the strats, because as of right now, I'm still not there. I'm like real close. I think I'm master 18, but I don't think I'm hitting it this week.
I think if you're master 18,
Yeah,
you hit it.
Is that the goal?
Yeah.
I thought it was 20. Okay, that's fair
No,
then.
18.
Okay, then maybe I got it. It would have popped up though, right?
Maybe after the week is over.
Maybe, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it pops up after the week goes over or like right when you hit it.
Okay. Well, then I might be there then.
There you
And
go.
then you could suffer.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not having a whole lot of fun with expert. And I've said this before, but it is if you don't have a nice variety of Pokemon that are leveled up. And like, that's my issue, because I use the same team for so long
Yep.
that I just didn't diversify. And so I'm now getting better at it, because like, you're kind of forced to once you're going to the expert mode.
For the most part, my team's all the same. During like the type specific weeks, I've boosted some of those Pokemon up, but they're not anywhere near as close or like as high level as like the ones that I've just been using every week. So
yeah,
but a candy boost.
Yeah, there you
go. I think I might end at Master 7 this week on Expert.
Okay. Are you happy with that?
Yeah. I got like, I mean, it is helpful that the berries were locked. So I think that was the main reason why.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, as soon as I got a critical hit, Dedenne went back on the team, get 2 more procs, switch out. So it's just like a lot of critical hits.
Yeah. I've been doing that same strategy. I think I'll probably I'm on Master 3 right now. If I can get 2 more extra tasties today, I'll be Master 5. So we'll see. We'll see if I can go 3 for 3 on a Sunday. I don't know. That's 3 for 3 on the extra tasties is a tough one. But
also, I experienced the Golduck meta finally. Because like,
how is that?
You know how the event like would boost water, fire, electric. So I didn't have to invest that many gold skill seeds. I only had to invest like 3, and then the event brought it up to 7.
Yeah, and this week it brought it up 5 levels. So it probably brought it up to 7. No problem.
Yeah, because I think my Golduck is at 4. So the first week it would be at 7, and then this week it would be at 7.
Yeah.
Not overhyped. Incredibly overhyped for sure. And like I think expert mode also shows like the power creep of like those Pokemon like Golduck, Sudowoodo. They don't really like keep up on expert, but like there also was like a lot of Dedenne love I've seen since expert mode has come out, and it's like I think this was like a huge argument we had like 6-7 months ago in the Slack of like what was one of the best Pokemon, and I was very much in the camp of Dedenne, and it's just like I feel so vindicated at this point that Dedenne is like this amazing Pokemon. So Dedenne great. Golduck, don't worry about it that much.
You should go into the Pokemon Sleep subreddit and just make a post like Golduck
Sudowoodo is like the worst of that bunch, and then Golduck is like the best.
Right.
But like Sudowoodo is still really good.
Just like sure.
It's just like I don't know. A lot of Pokemon Sleep is for sure min-maxing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But when the game is also like applying RNG and stuff, it's like it's not that big. Like it's whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's fine. Before we take a break here, just some a little bit of news here, because I didn't realize our sleep segment was going to go so long. Pokemon Center Kagawa is opening on October 24th. We've talked about this before, but they're adding a distribution to ZA. So this is one of the first. It is not the first distribution. Is one of the first distributions for ZA. So this opening on the 24th, so a couple days after ZA will launch. But if you go to any Pokemon Center in Japan from October 24th to November 30th, you can get a Slowpoke in a Cherish ball. And they're saying this will be collected via a piece of paper or can be sent directly to home, which is normally the NFC touch thing that you can do. Besides being in a Cherish ball and maybe having a ribbon, there is nothing special about the Slowpoke. So I know the comments are always like Japan gets everything good. I don't think it's that good. Also, if this came to the United States in some form, people would complain that it wasn't like shiny or whatever, right? Like we got like during Legends Arceus, we got a Hisuian Growlithe, and there was nothing special about it.
Right. Yeah.
I still made sure to claim it though.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
Had to get it.
So because it will be a code card, I don't know if you really care about it. There's probably somebody out there whose favorite Pokemon is Slowpoke. Slowpoke, I believe, has been in a Cherish Ball before, but not in like a decade and a half. But because it'll be on a piece of paper, I'm sure you'll be able to go to eBay. Why is this the second week in a row we're talking about going to eBay to buy codes?
What
You could go to eBay and buy a code. There was in Legends Arceus and in BDSP at the same time there were Piplups that came out. And I don't remember what it was for. It was I think it was something Pokemon Center related. But it was just a Piplup. There was nothing special about it. But I do remember going to eBay and spending like $7.99 to get both of those codes. Where those Piplups are, probably in Pokemon Home, rotting away.
You'll never see them again.
Yeah, they're never coming out. They're never getting evolved to a Napoleon. But there was a Piplup distribution at some point for those games.
It was a South Korea distribution.
Oh, was it?
Based on the one owned by Dawn, which is interesting because there was also a Piplup distribution back in like 2017. It was like Piplup, Lucario, and Charizard, and it was because of the Pikachu I Choose You movie that came out.
Oh, because like South Korea gets all the movies like 20 years later.
I don't know if this is. I just remember because I remember getting those distributions back in 2017, like figuring out a way to get them from someone at that point in time because they were like limited to Japan or Korea or something like that. So, but yeah, this was Piplup in South Korea for Legends Arceus and BDSP. So you have them somewhere, Steve, in Pokemon Home or in a game?
I do. Yes, I remember redeeming them. But I don't remember. I don't remember much else.
You had to actually spend money for these. It looks like back in 2022, they were obtained by spending over 35,000 won at the Pokemon Store online. They were online for one code.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing I got was a pamphlet that had both of them. I don't remember them being two separate pamphlets. I remember them mailing me the little paper.
Really?
It was like part of the thing where they technically on eBay, you're not supposed to just like email a code.
Sure.
Because then they can't technically mark it as delivered. But they did email me the codes right away and then mailed me the piece of paper afterward. So I was able to redeem them technically within instance of buying it, but I totally forgot, right? Like, oh. Yeah. And then when it arrived in the mail, I was like, what is this? Oh, yeah, Piplup.
Yeah. So it does look like it was in Japan as well. So like in Japan, you had to go to actual Pokemon Center and you could get the codes in Japan. And then in Korea, it was for like, you did it online. So. Yeah,
when like Zacian and Zamazenta, or not Zacian and Zamazenta, did come out, when Koraidon and Miraidon come out next week, or this week, I should say, as we're recording this, they will end up on eBay. But that is not an American thing.
No.
Japan also loves to put their codes on eBay and make like $4 or $5 a Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's why like the birthday stuff is now like the NFC. Because when I was in Japan last year, I was with my friends who live in Japan, and it was one of their birthdays, and they already claimed the Tandem Mouse. So they just like went up to the person and was like, "Hey, it's my birthday." And then I just handed them my phone instead, and then I was able to get the Tandem Mouse.
And then you put that Tandem Mouse on eBay, didn't you?
Yeah,
to
you
trade?
sold it. Did you have to prove it was a birthday, or could you just?
You usually have to show your like passport
okay.
or your like
That's
ID.
fair.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. They're pretty strict about that. But I think at one point, I mean, if it's your birthday month, it just has to be your birthday month. So like, people would go from Pokemon Center to Pokemon Center and then collect codes.
Right.
But now it's like that NFC stuff. So let's take a break. When we come back, we have some TCG, we have some patent stuff, we have some Pokemon Go. So we will be right back. And we are back from our break. All right, here's the patent stuff. The meat and potatoes this episode. I'm actually pulling this off The Verge. No, Nintendo and Pokemon did not patent summoning characters and making them battle, which is actually one of like the best headlines in a while, because every other headline was not this. In the article, they reference a different article from Games Fray that says, last week, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company received a U.S. patent on summoning a character and letting it fight each other. So I think this was the original article. And then in this original article, it has the patents. There's two patents. It looks like patent 387 and then patent 397 in here. And then I think from that article from Games Fray, a bunch of companies or a bunch of news outlets were like, look at what Nintendo's doing again, and they don't want you to summon. But I'm gonna I am not a patent lawyer, and I would also say a lot of people writing those articles also not patent lawyers.
Yes,
so I do think
that's true.
I do think that this Verge article is maybe too simplified. Like there's probably more nuance here, but I think it does what no other article has done, which is actually say the gist of what the patents are.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if this holds any weight because he may not have any had done anything with editing this, but I will say the editor-in-chief of The Verge is a former lawyer. Nilay Patel is a former lawyer. So I don't know. That might hold a little more weight to the fact that at least there's a lawyer involved somewhere.
Somebody, yeah, at one point.
We'll go through the article here. Nintendo and Pokemon Company were granted a U.S. patent earlier this month involving summoning characters and making them battle. Headlines popped up with similarly vague language as concern spreads in social media. That's a ton of things in games. Can they do that? Is that even allowed? Well, no, that's because that was not exactly what they patented. And what they did patent might not stand up to any hypothetical challenges in court. The patent in question is U.S. patent number 12403-397, which was filed in March of 2023. It does involve summoning and battle mechanics, but it is more specific than that. The claim describes a system that sounds a lot like auto-battling from Scarlet and Violet, in which a player can send a Pokemon into the overworld to automatically fight Pokemon rather than initiating a typical turn-based battle that the players control. The patent outlines the process by which, after a player has summoned a sub-character, a game software would determine whether to initiate a player-controlled battle, an automatic battle with the sub-character, or automatic movement by the same sub-character. In general Pokemon terms, say you're out in the world and you summon your Pokemon by throwing its ball. Did you throw it at a wild Pokemon? That's a regular battle. Did you throw it near a wild Pokemon? Your Pokemon would come out of its ball first and start an auto battle. Did you throw it at a far away wild Pokemon? Your Pokemon would come out of its ball and walk around. This is exactly like what happens in Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a patent solely on summoning characters to fight enemies or automatically resolving battles. It's a whole web of options as described in the claim. But that by itself doesn't mean the patent isn't concerning for other game developers. Whether this particular patent could unreasonably restrict the mechanics of other games is determined by any given court's interpretation of the patent law. And then they go on to say Charles Duan, an assistant professor at the American University of Washington College of Law, whose research included software copyrights and patent eligibility, told The Verge over email that there are two main ways one could potentially invalidate the specific patent: by anticipation or obviousness, and by subject matter eligibility. So I don't need. I'll link the article in the podcast show notes, but he goes on and says, like, this is why it could work and this is why it, like, couldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's totally up to the court and how the court feels about a very specific thing. Right. So there is still, like, nuance there. It's still not like black and white.
Remakes confirmed.
Yeah, your heart always knows what's right. This is different than in September of 2024, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company filed a patent infringement lawsuit in Japan against Palworld's developer Pocket Pair, which I think is very funny, and why we didn't actually talk about this during the time, because one, none of us are patent lawyers, but number two, us and most of our audience listening to the show, one, probably don't understand American patent laws that well, but definitely probably don't understand Japanese patent laws that well.
Exactly. Completely different set of laws.
Yeah, I got no clue. Sorry. Here I am not knowing it again.
So, Palworld is a Japanese company. And that lawsuit involves different Japanese patents, which were filed in 2024. And that was related to throwing a ball at a character in a field, as well as riding characters. There was a U.S. patent number 12403397 which was filed in the U.S. in March of 2023, before Pocket Pair showed any gameplay footage of Palworld. This is also funny too, because when this got brought up, people were saying that Nintendo filed these patents after seeing Palworld stuff, but that's just blatantly wrong. It was that I don't know why that was a point of contention of, like, well, they did this after the fact. No, they did it in March of 2023. Pocket Pair showed gameplay footage of Palworld and then released in January of 2024. And then they actually go on to say Nintendo of America filed a patent in 2000 on the Sanity system in Eternal Darkness. And that patent expired in 2021. There's a couple other patents not mentioned in this article that I'll bring up that people point to in the video game industry. One was Namco patenting a minigame system during loading screens. So in older Namco games, when you were waiting for something to load, there was a minigame that you could play. No other games could do this. That patent did expire. And then I think the other patent that is, like, famously referred to is the Nemesis system in Shadows of Mordor, which I don't think any other game has been able to do, because I don't think that patent has expired. But the Namco patent did expire a couple years ago.
Has there been an explosion of games doing mini games during loading screens? I haven't seen one.
You know what would need one, though, is like Animal Crossing New Horizons would definitely. It takes so long for anything to happen in that game. You ever have, like, a person visit you?
Oh my gosh, like, no, stop.
Like, let me go make a pizza real quick. I got two people coming to my island.
Yeah, I've not seen the minigame thing come up anytime recently, but maybe there's some games out there that I've just not played or heard of.
Yeah, like I said, the whole point of bringing this up wasn't to like defend Nintendo or say Nintendo is right or wrong about patents. I think everyone can agree that like the Nemesis system in Shadows of Mordor was like really cool, and it kind of sucks that other games don't have it. The point of bringing this up was just the amount of clickbait that went around that had nothing to do with what they were actually trying to defend.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it would maybe even hold any water in court anyways.
Yeah, is this like, so is this coming from a place of, okay, it was just that it was that the US patent was actually granted earlier this month.
Yes.
I see.
Because
Okay.
it was filed in 2023.
Yeah, and they just now granted it. I see. Okay. Got it. I was wondering, like, is someone suing someone? Like, I was just wondering, like, how did this even come about? Like, why people are even bringing it up? But I see it just
got.
It is kind of wild to
whatever.
think about, though, that that's how long a patent can take to also get approved or granted. Again, I know we're not patent lawyers. I do wonder, though, like, maybe someone in the comments will know this. Like, what happens in between that time? Like, in
I
between
would
someone
think it's
filing,
just free roam, like just
it's
go
just
for it.
free range, and then, like,
Yeah.
if it
So you
gets
gotta
granted,
think ahead,
then,
like, oh, they're gonna patent this, so I better make a game that does that real quick.
But I think if it's then patented, do you have to then pull back? You can't
I
sell
don't
games
know.
afterwards, right? So,
Well, okay, this is going back into Pal World territory. Pal World removed some stuff from their games
yeah.
to like make Nintendo happy. But I don't know Pal World well enough to know exactly what they like. Like, I don't even have a problem with Pal World myself. It's just Pal World isn't my type of game. I don't like I don't want to build a house and then. Well, hold on. We're getting into Pokopia.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
No, but I think in Pokopia, you're not like building the walls of your house, right? I think you're like selecting a pre-built house and then it pops
Placing
up
it somewhere, yeah.
Sure.
and then you're doing the Animal Crossing thing on the inside of decorating it. In Pal World, you're like building a wall and you're building the floor and you're building, like, I don't want to do that. That's like too much.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Like Pal World is way closer to Ark Survived than it is to Pokemon. And I think Ark is a very cool game, but also not my type of game.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
And Ark loves come into like gaming conventions, and they always bring their little dinosaur that you can sit on.
That's cool.
Yeah, they got a cool
I get to sit on a
dinosaur.
little dinosaur sometimes.
Good photo op here. Yeah, I don't.
So
I'm
yeah, this is like a question that like we won't know the answer to, right? But I'm curious, like, how exact does it need to be? Could you do those three things where you send out, if you're close to something, it battles it if you run into it, whatever, and then add on like a fourth option, and then it like nullifies the rest of it? Like, could you just add on to that, or is it you cannot do those three things?
I saw. I don't know. I don't think it's in this article. I think it was like a TikTok explaining this.
Okay.
And they said that like if a grilled cheese was already invented and then a peanut butter and jelly sandwich was already invented, you can acknowledge that those two were invented. But if you were the person that combined and made a grilled cheese, peanut butter, and jelly sandwich, that would be new.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think...
So you just add a little bit onto it.
It has to be different enough.
Right.
You couldn't just add something separate. Okay, so I'm not a patent attorney, so but I'm just taking the idea of like
I'm a grilled cheese expert, so I think that's my point stands pretty strongly here.
But I do I have worked what I do for work patents are involved in the thing that I do for work. But I think if you were to just copy those three things exactly and then add one more thing, it wouldn't be different enough from what the original patent is. So it's like you can't just add another thing to it, because if those three things can work on their own and you're adding a fourth thing that technically works separately from the first three, I think it's still covered under their patent at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
But they're like, I think Pokemon is very protective, or maybe Nintendo is. Nintendo lawyers are the ones doing most of the work since they're the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
They're very protective of like a ball being thrown. So when you look at like a game like Temtem, there's no balls in that game. Like I remember when Temtem came out, it was supposed to be the big Pokemon killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, open world, multiplayer, creature collecting game, and of course, no one on the internet knows how legal stuff works, and everyone is like 16-year-olds sitting in front of their PCs being like, somebody is suing somebody or somebody's getting fired. None of that happened with Temtem, right? Like there was no lawsuits, there was nothing. Temtem came out, it was popular for about 48 hours, and then no one cared anymore, right? Like it was not this big Pokemon killer,
You're
but it
gonna
was
get
also
lit up by the Temtem fans in the comments here, Steve.
The three of them in the comments. But it also didn't get like any legal trouble at all. Like there's tons of creature collecting games that are out there. There's like Cassette Beasts,
There's so
Temtem, Spectrobes, Yokai. They're still out there somewhere. Like there's a brand new Digimon game coming out this week. Like there's a lot of creature collecting games. Ooblets, I think, is another creature collector. The one creature collector that did get under a lot of fire is Palworld, but also Pocket Pair. They have two games, and both of their games copy other games, and their third game is copying Hollow Knight. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
They have a system that works for them, I guess.
Yeah, they do. I mean, like, look, a lot of people like Palworld. I get why people would like Palworld, because it would be a creature collector that also has like Arc, and if you like creature collecting and you like Arc, sounds like you would really like Palworld. Point being is not like Palworld is a good or bad game. Point being is like there are a lot of creature collector games out there that Nintendo and Pokemon or whoever it needs to be the one that initiates a lawsuit doesn't. Right? Because like they're doing their own thing, and they're allowed to exist. And the Pokemon Company / Nintendo didn't ruin Temtem or Temtem's chances of being whatever it wanted to be. I mean, Temtem had gyms. They were just called dojos. They had like 8 of them. They had the wild grass encounters. They had double battles. They have a lot of staples that were similar to Pokemon. And there was never a lawsuit filed between those two companies.
And just on the side of like patents in general too, because people, I think a lot of times they'll say like, oh, they see this game coming and they know it's going to be a problem, so they're just going to create a patent, or, do something to like stop that game from being a problem. Yes, but also like no, like they're making a patent to stop that being a problem from any game, so which is not any better. But like usually when you're creating something like that, it is not because you're going after like one specific game that's a problem. You're doing that to protect yourself from anything that's going to potentially come out and maybe challenge something or whatever. Or you're just trying to make your money back on like the thing that you spent all that time creating. And obviously for a company like the Pokemon Company, this juggernaut of a company, or Nintendo, right, in this case, it looks a lot worse because it's like, well, you already have so much money, right? And now you're patenting this thing that now it's going to make it harder for like other companies to be able to create something similar. And so I'm not saying like it's totally right that they're doing this, but it's like, I do think it's funny when people come at it like, oh, they're doing it because of like this specific game. And it's like, no, they're not. They're not doing it because of one specific game. They're doing it because of all the potential games that
For
could come.
every single one.
For every single one that could come for them. Yeah.
I'm curious of like like I don't really care about the patent stuff. I'm curious of like the thought process of, is this something that Pokemon wants in the future for their games? Of like, we do want to keep having a system where we can summon and the Pokemon will auto battle, or we have like the traditional way. Because like in Legends Arceus, you have both. You can, well, you have the traditional way of battling.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the, I just want to catch it, and I'm going to like do smoke balls. I'm going to like sneak behind it. I can catch it the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like that in Legends Arceus, even though I barely use the traditional way. But I know there were tons of people out there that like action-based games, not exactly their forte, and they're used to like, okay, if I just run up to it, I can battle it. I can weaken it. I can throw a Pokeball. I think that's cool. And then in like Scarlet and Violet, you can do the auto battle, which doesn't really get you anything besides like the material.
A little bit of experience, but
a little bit of experience, yeah. But you're not getting like EVs or anything
Right.
from that.
Right.
And then obviously, if a Pokemon's not close enough, your Pokemon comes out and walks with you. But you still have like the traditional, I'll run into it or I'll throw my Pokeball at it to initiate a battle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious if they just want to keep that going forward. Like, is that intuitive enough, or like something they deem important enough where like, yes, we want this for every game going forward, and that like this is something we want to protect going forward because we like what we're doing here.
Yeah, I like, how do they determine what they want to patent, right? I would assume it's something they plan to do it a lot of times, because otherwise I don't want to say what's the point, right? Because but I feel like there's not really a reason to patent something if it's going to be gone soon. Maybe I'm wrong, right?
Well,
but
I think part of it might be like, if they don't, someone else will. And then if someone
That's
else
fair.
owns that patent, now they either are paying out royalties to that company to continue using that method, or they're removing it from their games in some way. And again, I don't know the intricacies around like, if you already have a game out and then someone else makes a patent that is what your game does, do you now have to remove that like down the road because you already created it, or like can you not sell it anymore after that point in time? Or I don't know how that works, but I would guess it's like, if they see something and think, oh, this seems like something that could be patented by another company, let's do it first, and then we don't even have to worry about it. Even if we never decide to use it again,
right,
we have the option, and we don't have to worry about paying royalties out or not being able to do it in the future. So I think it kind of works either way. I do think it's a nice, like, I enjoy all of those methods of catching, like of how that works in Scarlet and Violet. So like, I would love if they continued using that, but I think from their perspective, it's more of a protection, and more of like we want this option for later, not so much to say that they're going to use it a lot going forward.
Yeah, because I will say, if I couldn't normally catch Pokemon in Legends Arceus, I would have never caught any of the Pokemon in the water. Ain't no way I'm doing that overworld throwing in the water. No way.
That beautiful water. That beautiful Legends Arceus water.
Gosh, don't get me started on Legends.
I don't know. I think you had a pretty good journey in Alabaster Icelands the other day, Steve.
Oh my gosh.
It was nice.
I who cares about patents? Whoever was in charge of the control scheme in Legends Arceus should have been fired. Like, why the roll and the dive and the crouch are on the buttons they are is mind blowing to me.
Can't you?
Well,
just
I don't
change them?
understand. None of the
They must have
Pokemon
never
games.
played an action game.
None of the Pokemon games have the same button layout. I'm always like, what button do I press to
Oh my
save the
gosh.
game? How do I get there?
Mhm.
I'll go back and play something else. It's a different button.
I mean, it also didn't help that like Legends Arceus and like Elden Ring came out at like similar times, and they both depended on rolling, but the rolling was on like different buttons.
That's just like anytime I don't have it set up right now, but I always had my Xbox and my Switch set up together, and just switching back and forth between that and the fact that the button layouts on an Xbox controller and a Nintendo controller are different is like the most infuriating thing. And then you mix that in with like each of the games having a different system for their stuff.
When I played the demo at Glau, you also played the demo, right?
Yes.
At Worlds. I don't remember the controls being bad. I remember like thinking, oh, they fixed this from Legends Arceus. Like, this feels better.
I don't remember if it's just because I was excited to play the game, but from what I remember, it felt like every button was doing what I thought it should do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Totally agree.
I can't remember what those buttons were at the moment, but
Right.
it felt right.
Natural.
It felt like it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Oh yeah, awesome, that worked.
Yeah. So in that regard, it probably was set up fairly similar to Scarlet and Violet. And that's what would be my guess. Like, because it did feel very natural. In the ways that it could for Scarlet and Violet, obviously.
Here, somebody took a picture of it. Somebody took a picture of it at Worlds, and it was X is main menu, which I think is similar in Scarlet and Violet. I think that opens the menu.
It does open the menu.
Y is roll, which I believe is the same as Legends Arceus, which I don't agree with. B is dash. They have A is listed as doing nothing.
That's right. B was dash.
Why
Why don't you like Y for roll? I feel like I like Y for roll because it's closest to the joysticks, where I'm also usually like going a direction to roll. And so it's like,
I'm pretty sure in Elden Ring, X was to roll, and X is where B is.
That's too far away. Oh, that's
but
right.
That's the opposite.
But I feel like
No.
B should be like
X
jump.
on the PlayStation controller is where B is.
Oh, okay.
Nintendo
Never mind.
controller.
Sure. Gotcha. I gotcha. I don't know. I like Y to roll just because I like it being
I think
as
that's
close
right
to
for
the
me, too.
joysticks. It's like the same. I feel like I'm going the same direction with my fingers. Like they're both, if I'm rolling left, they're both going to the left. My thumbs are both moving to the left to hit the Y and hit the roll at the same time. And like, I don't know. I like
Speaking
that.
of patents, wasn't there something with like maybe PlayStation did it or something with the controller, so you can't use like square, triangle, or like maybe it's like the placement of Y, X, B, A. I might just be making this up, but I feel like I read somewhere like that's why the controllers are all different. It's not B's in the same place every time.
That's very possible.
I don't know. I'll see if I can find it.
Well, I mean that I know Nintendo is the reason why the PlayStation 3 didn't launch with Rumble, because they didn't want to pay Nintendo the royalties for Rumble.
Wow.
And then they tried to argue that like Rumble was like an outdated thing, and then eventually they added Rumble back to their controllers.
Yeah.
Anyways, I remember the controls being slightly better in ZA and not like thinking about it too much.
Mm-hmm.
But also like the Switch 2 lets you change any buttons you want regardless of the game, right? Wasn't that like a thing about or was that both the Switch and the Switch 2 where they updated it where you could go into like system settings and change the buttons around?
I don't believe that was every game, but I have not tried it on the Switch 2.
Yeah, I've never tried to like hard reconfigure buttons.
You should for Legends Arceus.
I've never used the paddles on the Switch 2 controller either.
The ones that are under the yeah, I've never
Maybe
done
that would
either.
change my mind as well. If I could like add the roll to a paddle, I would feel better about it.
I saw a post from someone who they switched to the paddle to what takes a picture, like what does a screenshot, because like it's just like you can get that done quicker or something, and that was the only thing I've ever heard of anybody doing with those paddles.
You know what I should change the what takes us the voice chat button or whatever.
The C button?
The C button, yeah. I've seen some people change that to the screenshot.
Oh,
because
got
they're
it.
never going to use the voice chat. I should do that too.
Yeah.
You know
I'm
what?
never gonna,
Have you
never
used the
gonna
voice chat in Switch
Mm-mm.
too?
No.
I did it once. It was.
We should
never
do a
it
whole
again.
Do a podcast with
in the
it.
voice chat. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be the bonus content. And then when you're watching the podcast, you'll have your own sanity meter because that's no longer patented. And then you can see how much sanity you have at the end of the Nintendo voice chat
There you go.
podcast that we do. Perfect.
I like it.
All right. Let's take a break, and then we have some Pokemon Go news and some TCG news. We will be right back. And we are back from a break. 2 events happening in California. One this week, one next year. We'll start with the one next year.
And nothing in between.
Zero
One next
events.
year, one this week.
This is off PokemonGo.com. Save the date, Pokemon Go Tour 2026. Trainers, we have some exciting news to share with you. Pokemon Go Tour is returning. The best way to experience Go Tour is in person. 2 real-world events taking place in Tainan, Taiwan, and Los Angeles, California, from February 20th to the 22nd. Shortly after will be a 2-day celebration on February 28th through March 1st. Where you can participate no matter where you are in the world. More tickets will be shared at a later date. We're mega excited for what's to come. We hope you are too. This is just Kalos Tour, right?
I think so.
They said they're mega excited, so I assume it's going to be... It's weird that they didn't just say Kalos Tour, though.
Yeah.
Like, why hold out on that?
Maybe it's like the reverse psychology of like, if we don't say it's Kalos Tour, maybe people will think it's not Kalos Tour when all signs point to Kalos Tour lining up with ZA makes the most sense.
Right.
Yeah, but then why say we're mega excited? And they put the mega in italics.
Well, Kalos introduced megas. So
No, I know they did. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, why hint at that if you're not just going to come out
Just
and
gonna
say
say
it's Kalos?
Tour.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Like, it feels like it's just Kalos Tour. I mean, they could do any, like, it doesn't, at a certain point, they have to repeat, right? Like, at a certain point.
yeah, but don't repeat like, well, they never actually had an in-person Kanto or Johto tour, but don't repeat like an old tour for an in-person event. I think.
Yeah, so if we get Kalos next year, then we would get Alola the year after, and then we would get Galar after that. So and like we're not getting 2 main series Pokemon games or not main series, 2 generational Pokemon games in the next 4 years.
Oh yeah, right.
So at a certain point where we have to go back to Kalos Tour, which like realistically is fine if it's like, oh cool, we have another Kanto Tour, but the last one was 9 years ago. Like that's plenty. I mean, there's a lot of Kanto stuff, but like in the grand scheme of things, like a whole tour dedicated to Kanto would have been at that point like 9-10 years ago.
Yeah.
I do feel people would be like, Kanto, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're right though, it's been such a long time that it probably would be okay. But
I don't think they would I don't think they will repeat Go tours once they run out of regions. I feel like they'll do like, if they do a repeat of like a Kanto tour, it won't be like an in-person and global event. They'll change it in some way, and so like the Kanto thing will be something different, and then they'll, Go tour may turn into something else at some point. I don't think they'll just like keep them going and then like just revisit regions. I think they'll just turn that event into something different.
Could this be something different though? If they're not coming out and saying Kalos Tour, could this year be?
they could take like the Mega Evolution Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, throw them all together, especially with the new ones coming out, Inkay, Hawlucha, stuff like that.
That's true, because
They
like a
could just
lot
be
of
like,
megas
this is just everything that can Mega Evolve.
right. Because how
'Cause
many
it's
Mega
not-
Evolutions are Kalos?
Not a lot.
Like
Is there?
very,
There's like
very
4,
few.
right?
Yeah,
So it's like there was like what, like somebody can correct me. There was like 35 in X and Y, and then like another like 15 in Omega Ruby.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like Kalos, like region.
Oh, Kalos.
Yeah.
No, I mean like Kalos region, like because right, these Go tours are not based off of the games; they're based off of the regions. So like, how many Kalos region Pokemon have Mega evolutions?
Malamar, the starters, and Diancie, right?
Right. So if they're going to be introducing Mega Pokemon or doing something with Mega Pokemon with this Go tour, it can't just be Kalos focused Pokemon, which every year before it's been literally just the region's Pokemon.
And that's
so
why
you're
they're
saying
mega
we're getting
excited.
Kanto tour this year, next year.
Yeah.
Get the
Mega
Venusaur,
Kanto tour.
Mega Charizard.
Yeah, I don't know, but they did say Mega, so they're gonna have to involve other things.
I don't know where I was going with this. The Kalos Pokedex is the smallest Pokedex. It's like what, like 79 Pokemon?
Yeah.
And so if you're even if you were just to do like, okay, we're just doing Kalos Pokemon, you don't have a whole lot. So is the event like, okay, it is the Kalos tour, but also we're just gonna have all of these Mega Pokemon spawning the entire time. But like, is that even exciting enough?
Right.
If they add some new ones.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. It's tough because, I mean, easy answer, yeah, it's just Kalos Tour, and then sure, they throw in Mega Pokemon, or they throw in like, it's Kalos Pokemon and wild and Pokemon that can Mega Evolve are also like in the wild, right?
Perfect.
And so
Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle back in.
Right. Maybe, I know you were talking about Mega Mewtwo next, like Go Fest, but like maybe Mega Mewtwo is actually like Go Tour, like. I don't know. I feel like they could do something with...
Well, here's the thing, Glau. They got 2 Mewtwo's to work with.
Oh, you're so right, actually. Hold on a second.
Wait a minute. They have 2.
Winter Mewtwo, Summer Mewtwo. We've got one for each.
We're definitely getting Mega Mewtwo next year. Not like 100%.
No, we have to. We have to be getting Mega Mewtwo at some point in 2026. I don't know. This
was the long
weird,
con. The Game Freak made 2 Mewtwo's for next year. They knew 2026 would be the year of Mewtwo. They also don't say where, like, it's Pasadena again, right? Where else are they going to host this?
Yeah, I have to imagine it's Pasadena. But
like, there's no way they didn't sign a 3-year deal with the Rose Bowl, and this would be year number 3.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm guessing it's
Pasadena literally burned down, and they still had the event. Like,
that's true. That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be laughing. I'm laughing at the fact I'm laughing at the fact they had the event given the circumstances, not that the house is burned down.
Yeah. No, I think it's Pasadena again. I think the Rose Bowl is I think it works really well for this event. I think it worked really well last year, the year before. And so that would make sense. But it would be interesting. It would be the first time that they changed things up a bit if they really did say do something with Megas that was separate of just what's in Kalos. Unless we're about to get like 60 Megas in Legends ZA that are all Kalos Pokemon. But
Mega Go-Goat, please.
Yeah, but otherwise, like, I think we're going to be seeing Pokemon from other regions in this Go Tour, and that'll be like a first.
Yeah. I will say I did miss the what they did with the first Go Tour, which was like catch everything to like fill out the Pokedex. I thought that was like really neat.
Yep. I like that.
I'm assuming they don't do that anymore because not actually a lot of people completed that. I think that was like the real reason.
You had a week to do it. It wasn't as easy for that following week. I remember like they made like another Kanto event for that following week so that people could
you're
finish
overplaying how casual some Pokemon fans
No,
are.
I'm not.
I know the people listening to this show very like they'll spend a whole weekend doing it, but other Pokemon Go stuff. Solosis is your spooky October Pokemon. Niantic is so good at never picking a proper Halloween Pokemon.
Didn't they pick a proper one last year, though? It was like the first time ever that it was, everyone was so proud of them for.
I don't remember what last year was.
I'm there. I'm about there right now, so I'm just saying what it was. But it was, oh, never mind. It was Seawaddle.
Oh. It's kind of like fall themed.
Yeah.
Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like there was a year where they did something like that. Like they did it right, but
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, the real question is, are we finally going to get Mimikyu this October? Like, we've been teased for too long having the Mimikyu costumed Pikachu like 7 years ago, having the Mimikyu costume for the Avatar like also 7 years ago. It's just such a tease every year. Still no Mimikyu.
The problem with that is the disguise like mechanic, right? I would assume is why it's not out yet.
Who else has a mechanic like that? I guess just Ice Cube, kind of similar. Kind of a
well,
similar
I mean,
mechanic.
there are just mechanics that they struggle with. I'm like Morpeko, they struggled with. Aegislash was broken.
Yeah, that one.
So I don't think it's like the fact that I think it's just an ability that they have to figure out how it works in like GBL.
Sure. How does like Zoroark work in GBL?
Great question.
I don't
Would require
know, but
me to play GBL.
I kind of think it doesn't do anything.
Right.
I think you just send out Zoroark.
Yeah, I think it doesn't do anything.
So I feel like
that's true. They could just have it not do anything.
Just have it not do anything. But I don't know.
You waited 7 years for the ability not to do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
I just want it in the game. That's all.
They are changing this community day a little bit, for better or for worse. Usually when Niantic changes stuff, it's for worse. But they are saying that you get the 3 times catch Stardust, 2 times catch Candy, 2 times chance for level 31 and above to receive XL Candy. Your incense will last for 3 hours. Snapshots for Community Day Surprise. This is the change that people are upset about. Lure modules will last 1 hour and may attract featured Pokemon. Usually they would last 3. You will get 1 additional special trade, and then trades will cost 50% less. So I just named a bad change where instead of 3 hours, that's 1 hour. I wonder, I do think, here's the pessimistic part of me, that most people complaining are also the people who don't actually buy lures and benefit from everyone else's lures. Like,
maybe.
When's the last time? Sincerely, I've been playing every community day since the start. Haven't missed a single one. 9 years. I don't think I've ever in 9 years laid down a lure on community day. Ever.
Same.
If I am stuck at work, I would. But
Okay.
For the most part, I just use the incense.
No, I'm saying I'll go to a park or I'll go to Mall
Oh,
America.
right. Yeah. And
like,
other people have already.
And I couldn't even lay one down if I wanted to.
Yeah, right. That's the thing, is I don't think I've ever been in a position where I could lay one down if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But
Because you go to that park down the street from your house and it's like, it's probably loaded every time.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's just a benefit of like us living in bigger cities.
Yeah.
That they're just always hit up with stuff. But
like I've laid down lures before.
Yeah,
right?
sure, of course.
But I'm just saying specifically on community day, I'm like, I'm not there early enough to do it.
I do feel like they're usually all stocked up by the time I get there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've again in like 9 years, 8 years, whenever they started doing community day, I don't think I've ever laid down a lure. That being said, if they're only lasting an hour, now you're having more of an opportunity to do it. But the only winner there is Niantic.
Yeah, people just have to spend more money because now you have to put down 3 instead of 1, right? Like, and I don't think that the benefit of it is like that much better. You can get so the benefit of what they're trading out basically is you have this lure module bonus. It goes from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. local time. So remember back in the day when they used to do like the 4-star raids after a community day
Yeah.
when it had the middle evolution, and then you'd get extras. And that clearly didn't work because they didn't keep that going for that long.
That lasted like 6 months.
Yeah, and then that was done. And
Although I
then
thought it was kind of cool.
it was cool, but I do appreciate this one where it goes from 2 until 9 p.m. on the lures. So,
much
anyways, it goes
longer.
until 9 p.m. Solosis will have a very high chance of appearing at the Pokestops with an active regular lure. And Solosis attracted to the lures will have an increased chance of being shiny and may have a special background. So I appreciate the fact that now a community day, which would have been 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., can technically be 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. for people who aren't able to make that 3-hour window.
If you want to spend money on lures.
If you want to spend money on
Right.
lures. Yeah. It's like you do get that benefit. But so my point to the beginning of this was like, I don't know that it's like totally worth it though to take that 3 hours, to take that 3-hour limit away.
Yeah, why isn't it just like
Right.
alert during the first alert during 2 to 5 will be 3 hours, and then after 5 it'll just go back down to the hour? Like, why isn't it just that?
Yeah, because people will still spend money on lures after 5 o'clock. Like anybody who just wasn't able to make a community day, there are plenty of people I'm sure that will lay down lures for the next 4 hours or the next couple hours at least. But why take that away from people that are actually playing during the time
Right.
that you want them to play?
Yeah.
Seems,
There will
not
be
good.
times where I will benefit from this, but it would be nice. Like, I don't think they needed to take away the 3-hour one.
Yeah, I mean, they should have done this last month. I would have benefited from on Flabebe Community Day.
Exactly,
'Cause
right?
I
Yeah.
needed more time to get all the colors. But yeah, it's fine. The special background's cool. But it is a bummer that they've taken it down to 1 hour from 3. Hey, real quick, I found that community day where they did it right. It was October of 2022.
Okay.
So 3 years ago, we had Litwick.
Okay, that one works.
Okay.
That
I'll
was a good
allow that.
one. That was a good
There
one.
was like when was Duskull? Duskull was
Oof.
was that not in October, or was that in September?
I don't think it wasn't an October one.
It might have been September.
Duskull Community Day was, no, you're right. It was October 9th, 2021.
Oh, okay. So they did
So
2 years in a row.
row. They were on the track, and then and then 2023 was Timber. I think and it was.
You
I was
know,
like, nope.
it's Timber, the spookiest of fighting Pokemon. All right. Speaking of Los Angeles kind of stuff, there will be a mega evolution event. It is called the Pokemon Trading Card Game Mega Evolution Discovery Event at Magic Box LA. It will run from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. Tickets will be required, and tickets are available via Eventbrite. This is off Pokemon.com. This is September 26th through 28th, so 3 days. That is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It says, step inside and journey through a mystical museum-like experience featuring 10 towering cards featuring Pokemon from the Mega Evolution expansion. Take a photo with each one, and with statues of Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir. Trainers can collect stamps at each station. As you reach the end of the exhibit, you will receive a TCG Fun Pack, and thanks for dropping by while supplies last. You can also peek at some artwork from the Mega Evolution Phantasmal Flames expansion releasing later this year. This will be Magic Box LA, 1933 South Broadway, Los Angeles. It says, first come, first serve, limit 6 tickets per order. Tickets may not be sold or transferred. This is not affiliated with LA Comic-Con. Tickets are free, for the record. They don't cost any money. This is very similar to what they did in New York, which was at the same time as New York Comic-Con, but not affiliated with New York Comic-Con. That was the... they called it like the mystical mirror or whatever. It was like a mirror maze that at the time Pokemon did invite me out to that, and that was all paid for / sponsored. That was last year though. So I think this is probably going to be similar, which my experience of that last time was there was the mirror maze. It took 2-3 minutes to walk through. it wasn't that much of like a maze. It was just a bunch of mirrors. And then when you got out, there was the giant cards that you could just take photos of. And that was pretty much like the whole thing. It was like cool for a free event. And this one is also free. So I think if you're in the area, it's worth it. We talk about this all the time. I don't know if it's worth, driving 2 hours for,
Mhm.
But if you're already in the area, or you needed a reason to, LA is very big. If you needed a reason to go to that part of LA, it seems like cool. I think
Mhm.
Sarumi had like a little map of it, but again, it doesn't seem very. It looks like I'm looking at the website for tickets. It looks like times are like every 10 minutes. So yeah, I don't think they expect you to be in there for an hour.
Yeah. And just to clarify, we said it before, but just so people are aware, you're not getting any like free Mega Evolution packs or anything like that. I think they said you get a fun pack, which is like a 3-card pack. And in those 3-card packs in a fun pack, you don't get like, there's no quote unquote hits in those. So there's no double rares or anything above in those fun packs. So if you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go get some kind of, packs of cards or something like that, no, you won't get any packs of cards. But
Not with that attitude, Bobby. You're just not lucky enough to pull the good cards.
That's what it is. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. No, but the cards are cool. I'm assuming the 2 statues are the same ones that were at Worlds. They had that Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir statue.
Probably.
Those are pretty cool. To get like nice photo op. And then the cards are cool. So yeah, I think if you're in the area, I am 2 hours away from this. I don't think I'm going to drive up there for this. But maybe if I had more time, but I just like you said, like it's a 10-minute like experience. If you're in the area, I think it's definitely worth going. But yeah, should be fun. You get to check out, get to see the cards up close. If you,
yeah, I mean, ideally, you shouldn't have to wait in line too long if you're selecting a time and you're showing up at that time and going through. So,
yeah, and to your point, it's free. So
yeah, it's not like you're spending like $10 to wait in line for an hour to get one single booster pack. It seems really cool. It just, it just seems like nothing you would like spend a whole day doing.
Also, although it is not affiliated, it is at the same time as LA Comic Con, and it's so if you're there for that,
right.
Pop on over for a little bit and see this.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? So I know at least with San Diego Comic Con, there are a lot of people who either live in San Diego or are here for that period of time. And if you don't have a ticket to Comic Con, it can be a bummer, like, because you want to be a part of you want to be a part of it in some way. And this is one of those perfect things. Like, they do a lot of things outside of Comic Con for free that may be affiliated or not, but it does allow you the opportunity to just like kind of get an experience, kind of enjoy that like experience that you might have, not being in Comic Con, but being around it all. And so, if you're going to be there or in the area, I think that this would be definitely a fun event to check out.
Yeah. Last bit of news, and it's literally 30 seconds of information. You can now redeem your shiny Chi-Yu. So now that all of the Treasures of Ruin have been complete, you have until September 30th. Actually, I lied. You have till September 29th, and I'm saying that because it is technically September 30th, but pretend it's September 29th, so you're not waiting the very last minute. You can redeem all 4. You don't need any codes. You don't need Nintendo Online. You just need internet to connect to Mystery Gift to download those 4. If you have both Scarlet and Violet, you can get 4 on each, so you can get 2 sets of 2. that's it for the summer raid events. So those were the 4 raids, and then they had 4 outbreaks to go with it. So that was 2 months of content because each of those events lasted 2 weeks. We still technically have 3 7-star raids to go, which would be Gudra, Hydreigon, and Dragapult. Those events normally last 2 weeks, and we're recording this on Sunday morning, so they could probably announce one tonight. By the time this podcast is up, one of those could be announced. Even if they announce one tonight and there was no weeks in between, this still pushes us over into ZA. So one of these will definitely overlap, which kind of sucks if like everyone's playing ZA and you want to try to go back to do one of these.
It might be hard to find a group to play with.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be good because only the hardcore people will go back. And maybe you'll have competent online people. I'm not sure.
Or join the Patreon for 30% off. Join the Slack. Find people
true.
there.
Find people there at a discount. Gudra would make sense to line up with the week of ZA if they decide to do that. That's the only Gen 6 one out of the 3.
Yeah, they can do that. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't. Now that we only have 3 left and ZA is so close, I don't know if there's going to be any more 7 stars. Like I think we're still due for like maybe a repeat of Walking Awake Iron Leaves. Maybe they eventually do like a Raging Bolt or
But those have always been 5-star, haven't they?
Yeah. But I'm just like, if they were to repeat any raid events, that would be a good one to repeat. They were doing that like every 6 months.
I don't know. I think once ZA comes out, like, I don't think they're going to be like pushing hard to.
Sword and Shield still had stuff going on after Legends Arceus came out.
I need them to repeat the Christmas deli bird. Yeah, that's the one I need to repeat. Bundle? No, the one prior to that one. I think it was a
early.
deli bird.
That was
it was like one of the first ones.
The first ones, yeah. That was.
I need that repeated.
Real quick before we move on, I just wanted to say the Chi-Yu. Do you think that there were more Chi-Yu battles raids 1 or Ting-Lu raids 1 once the final numbers came out?
I saw it now. I can't remember. I think it was more Ting-Lu.
Ting-Lu, right?
There were 3.5 million Ting-Lu victories, and there were 3.1 million Chi-Yu victories. So the Ting-Lu did end up doing more than, and that's obviously because it's like people just fell off over time, right?
More and more. They just realized it was as soon as they realized they didn't have to do it.
Yeah, that it just. But like, I think a few days before it ended, I think the Chi-Yu raids were only at like 1.2 or something, 1.2 million, and obviously we had been over 1 million, but it was like, oh man, like I didn't think it would have dropped off that much, but it looks like it still popped up to like 3.1 million. So great work, everyone, getting those shinies.
Okay, if they do announce a 7-star raid, I'll make a YouTube video and do a raid graphic for it, for whatever of the 3 that are left, whichever one they decide to do tonight or next week or whenever they do decide that. If you are on the premium feed and you want to stick around, there is some new Pokemon Center merch and some regional merch that they're doing for the first time that I wanted to talk about. So we're going to save that for the bonus segment. So if you're on the premium feed, stick around and you'll get an extra 15-20 minutes of content. Like Glau said, 30% off until the end of the month. If you want to sign up for Patreon, it removes the ads from the show, gets you the longer episodes, gets you into the Slack, so you can get your 30% off your Hydreigon when he drops. But thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. I feel like there's something I should say that I'm forgetting, but I don't know. My brain is fried. But fun episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Austin.
Thank you.
Stick around for the bonus stuff. If you're not on the premium feed, thank you just for making it to the end. It's much appreciated. We will see you guys next week. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
super effective.
Super rare Slowpoke.
No, it's just in the Cherish ball.
You can't get it anywhere else.
You have like these 3 pseudo legendaries, and then you have Pachirisu, and like the Pokemon. I don't know. I get it. I understand. But man, they milk the heck out of Pachirisu. Like, it's like.
I kind of fall for it, though, you know? I want
Yeah.
the Pachirisu one.